Scott, it's finished 4-0 here to Kidderminster Harriers this afternoon. Slough go out of the FA Trophy at the fourth round. What did you think of that game? Because it seemed like a pretty tough game against a strong opposition.
Yeah, we made it tough, in my opinion. I think the goals that we conceded were extremely soft. Ball down the side, we don't track our runner. Ball into the box, they get first contact, similar to the Bournemouth second goal the other day. Second goal, we kind of go for a header in the midfield that we're never going to win, and then it catches us out. Third goal, we give it away just before half time, inside our half. We don't react quickly enough because the turnover. They play a ball through the middle of our defence and they score. Fourth one, give it away again in our half. And it doesn't allow us to defend in time. It's as simple as that. So second half, we can take a little bit of comfort. I thought that the boys went out there and asked them, or done exactly what we asked them to do at the beginning of the game. And that was be brave, get on the ball, pass it. Kidderminster played two in midfield and it looked as though they had the extra men and they didn't. So yeah, it's really disappointing. I think we've got to sort of maybe take a step back and maybe look at this week. We've played two teams that are full-time, reportedly got over £1 million worth of budget, which we could only dream of. It takes us years to spend that. But we should do better. It's as simple as that. We can't, it's a really difficult, and we can't just sort of let slip in terms of our performance or our confidence in a game. But listen, they're a very, very good side. The disappointing thing is that they've made changes today. So we've played against players that haven't been playing regularly for them. And when we saw that, we sort of said to the boys, it's an opportunity. But the lads that obviously came in for them, there was some really good players. So it shows the strength and depth that they've got. So yeah, listen, overall, it's a tough day at the office, of course it is. But I think we've got to realise that we've come to a really good football club today. And they perform very, very well. So we take it on the chin, we move on and look forward to what's an extremely tough January and February in the league.
And as you mentioned there about the fact that this is another full-time side we've played in a row, what are the key differences for you that make it such a big gap between a full-time and a part-time side?
Yeah, I think it's relationships. They just look as though they know what they're doing. They get more time to spend together. They're probably a little bit fitter, a little bit stronger. A lot of their boys have been professional footballers for a long time. I know some of them that have dropped what you'd say out of the Football League, but they're still full-time footballers. So they're fit, they're strong, they're quick, they're experienced, they've got know-how, they've got the nous. And we're a very young, inexperienced side. And I think that's where sometimes it can be to our detriment, but also sometimes our naivety is probably our strength. When you've got people like Leon, who's so raw in terms of a footballer, he's probably played, 70, 80 senior games, exceptional footballer. And that's where sometimes he's outstanding. So it's one of them ones. But in terms of tactically, we've probably got a lot of players that need to do more and maybe understand what's being asked of them. The messaging's been very, very clear, and I think the disappointing thing is today is that I tried to simplify it. We went 4-1-4-1 with Henry sort of sitting in between the two banks of four, and it's just lack of concentration for me. Yella sort of alluded to in there that he didn't feel the lads put in the effort, but I didn't think it was that. I thought it was lack of concentration and decision making, and I think ultimately that's what's cost us. But yeah, I just wanted us to give a good account of ourselves today, and we certainly didn't. I think the second half, I thought we were much better. We got the ball down, we played, we showed some bravery, and when we did that, I thought we looked like a decent enough side at times. And it's probably 45 minutes, the first half at Bournemouth and the second half today, but we need to put together a 90-minute performance, and hopefully that comes next Saturday at Hemel.
Yeah, because we were desperately unlucky not to at least get on the score sheet in the end. Johnny Goddard had probably the two best chances where he had his initial shot saved, and then that one from, I'd assume, roughly 5 or 6 yards out off the crossbar. I'm not sure how he managed to miss, unfortunately. But is there anything else you can take from this game moving forward, even just the experience of playing two very good sides, to move forward into the next game against Hemel?
I believe in this group so much, and that's the thing that's so disappointing. I actually thought that we'd come here today and put on a good show, but it's the manner of the goals and the decision making that you can't legislate for. It's really, really tricky. I think looking at it now, the only positive is probably the fans that turned up. We had an outstanding following today, and I feel like we've let them down. If I was a millionaire, I'd pay for all their tickets. Sadly, I'm not. But for me, we're extremely grateful for that. And when we walked out at the beginning of the game, I thought to myself, what a great following. And it's annoying that we've not given them something to cheer about. It was a really disheartening performance in the first half. I think this third goal just before half time completely ruins it. If we'd have got maybe the first goal and it was 2-0, if we got the first goal in the second half and the score's 2-0, we might have been in for a game. But it was extremely disappointing. I think for us, I said to the lads at half time, can you go and win the second half and put some sort of like credit on the scoreline, because we knew it would be tough. But yeah, I think we've just got to maybe look at the bigger picture. We haven't got a huge squad. We've got a lot of players that are coming up the levels. And today I feel like we've been found out. But if we were to play the game again, I think the boys would probably give a better performance, and that's what's disappointing. In a cup game, you get one chance, one opportunity, and we've not taken it today.
Just finally about the game today itself, that frustration you said you had about maybe a bit of a lack of effort at half time, was that what made the reaction to bring on that triple substitution as well?
I just thought, to be honest, the game was done, and I just said, let's just get some lads some minutes. Anyone could have come off at half time. No one played well in the first half or played well enough to definitely remain on the pitch. So I just said, let's get some lads some minutes, and that's probably one of the positives. I thought Dan Roth came on. I thought he done really well at right back, as honest as they come. He runs through the mud, he heads it, he tackles, he passes it. David come on and gave it a go. Sam had a battle up top. And I thought the other positives in the second half, I thought Henry and Leon, I thought they were excellent. So the difference though in between the first half performance and the second half performance, I just spoke to them about that. It can't be that inconsistent. So it's easy to play when you're 3-0 down or 4-0 down. You don't mind making mistakes at 3 or 4-0 down, but as a manager, I'm very, very sort of giving towards the players, where I allow them to go and express themselves. I don't want players to play within their shell. I want them to go and express themselves. When it comes off, it looks great. If they make mistakes, then fine. Like, it is what it is. We want to play exciting football. We nearly scored the best goal we probably would have scored all season when we played out from the back. There was probably 8 or 9 passes. It was exactly what we want. But that's the disappointing thing. We waited for 45 minutes to probably start playing. But like you said, I've been around football long enough to know now that it's easy to get on the ball. When the game's done and dusted, we need to do that. Starting next week at Hemel, I think we've got 9 out of the top 10 in our next 11 matches. I looked at it the other day. See what we're made of, Con. Ultimately, that's going to tell us what type of team we are, whether we can stay in and around the playoffs. If someone had said to us we'll be 6 points off the playoffs after 24 games, we'd have snapped their hand off. Of course we would. But if we don't fix up, if we don't tighten up, then we'll probably end up sliding down the table and the season will just come to nothing. So we don't want that. You don't want that. The fans don't want that. So it's down to us. I feel like we've got the group in there that can do it. Probably need to make 1 or 2 additions, and there probably will be 1 or 2 departing in the next week, because I think we've got an imbalance in the squad at the moment in terms of attacking players. So disappointing not to have Jammers here today. I think he would have been a massive plus for us, but I need to make some changes, not off the back of the last 2 results. It's been on my mind for a while that we've got too many attacking players and not enough defensive players. So just finding the right people, the right players. They've got to have the right character and personality to fit into our group. So I'll be searching high and low probably over the next few days to try and bring someone in.
Thanks again for your thoughts, Scott. Commiserations on today's result, and we'll see you away at Hempstead next Saturday.
Cheers, Con. Thanks.